Hello MGTOW. Today I want to talk about something that happened to me at a department store, and I want to talk about weakness and how it's viewed in today's American society. Weakness and equality. So first, yesterday I was at a department store, and I grabbed a shopping cart. So I needed to purchase a few things, and shortly after grabbing the shopping cart, it occurs to me that I needed to use the restroom. So I start heading towards the restroom and discover that it was kind of far from the entrance. I mean, this is one of these big box department stores. And so I started thinking, well, you know, maybe I just leave the cart here and head towards the restroom, and then come back and pick up the cart, or go to the other entrance and pick up the cart. That way I don't have to carry it back and forth, since I want to begin shopping at this entrance here. And so I started doing just that. But as soon as I started doing that, this old lady begins shuffling her way toward my car from the inside of the store. So she acts like she's ready to fall down and reaches for my cart and says to me, "Can I have this?" And my instinct was like, no, you know. But then I thought about, well, I have to use the restroom, so, you know, let her have it, you know. And soon after that, you know, flashed thought. She says, "Oh, you can get another one." And at that moment, I just let the cart go, because I figured, well, you know, I really have to use the restroom, you know. I mean, this woman, she had to be someone's grandmother, an elderly woman, you know, way past her menopause age. And you know, all my training, my indoctrination as as a man in years of living here in the West, you know, it just led me to justify my action of just letting the cart go and just giving it to her. And you know, I got to thinking, well, you know, after I used the restroom and whatnot, I got to thinking, well, should I have done that? Should I have given her my car? I mean, there were a couple of white knights around her, so that would have perhaps spelled trouble too, you know, because I would have gone completely against the dictates of American tradition and culture and society by doing that. And so I came to the conclusion that perhaps it was best not to deny the cart, my cart, to this lady. But then I got to thinking, well, what happens when, you know, when there's an old lady crossing the street, right? We're taught to rush and, you know, to their help when they're crossing the street, right? They're on a crosswalk, you know, they can barely, you know, go across, and you as a gentleman and a scholar are compelled to just go and help her out. And I said, well, I say, fuck it, you know. She's a woman, right? And if we're talking about equality, I mean, chances are this lady, true, she's not fighting this modern day gender war. But if we're talking about equality and women are equal and as strong as men, and we're all equal, then by all means, why should I go out of my way to help her? And you say, sweet padre, that's fucked up. You know, that's somebody's mother, somebody's grandmother. But that's precisely the point. You know, it's the fact that, hey, we're all equal, right? That's what these feminists are out here saying. And if that old lady is equal to me, you know, then why should I rush to her help when she's trying to cross the street? And so I suggest that you don't go out your way. Don't go out your way to help her. You know, I know this is counterintuitive because of all your indoctrination for many years. But if they want equality, let them have it. And we got to think about what it is that goes through our minds when we as strong and independent men that we are go out of our way to help an elderly woman, whether it's to carry groceries or to help her cross the street or to pull a chair for her or open a car door for her or you name it. What goes through our minds, right? We have to think somehow that she's being virtuous all her life, that she did no evil, that just being old carries a certain degree of respect to it because of her experiences in life and this, that, and the other. But we have to think, well, you know, old men in American society don't get the same respect. They really don't. In fact, many men, unfortunately, don't live as long as these women do. And the reason why is because they're exploited for years on end by these very same women. And unfortunately, they die at younger ages because of it. So that is something to consider, you know. And you can do as you wish. You can continue to do as you wish, you know, with your life and in your interaction with elderly women. But you best believe that you know, she perhaps has not been as virtuous as society makes her out to be. And why should she have special privileges? Not only when she's young, but when she's old. And so now this leads me to the topic of weakness, right? A big tenet of the West is that, and some other parts of the world too, is that, you know, we cede or we give, we let go, we make it easy for the weak and the elderly to you know, to continue on living, right? But that goes against everything that nature intended. In nature, if you are weak, very simply, you die. You know, you either get caught by an animal in the wild, or you know, in the case of plants, they perish, they die. You know, they just decay quickly. The weak perish. And so we have this this idea of equality coupled with feminism that has turned things upside down. It has made the weak the strong and the strong the weak. And it's time that we return to our natural way of doing things. that we return, at least in this regards, to the way in which nature intended things to be. We let the weak perish and may the strong survive. And a lot of it, you know, we have to question, from crosswalks to, you know, letting someone who's older take a seat in the front of the bus, to handicapped parking spaces. So this has very deep implications as to how society, Western society, will be run. But if we're all equal, then let's all really be equal. That's what I'm saying. So I hope this gives you something to think about. And if you like this video, you think you might have learned something new, please do share and subscribe. And I have more content coming for you. Thank you, MGTOW.